guys, it's Jackie. I'm back with a video. I probably should have brought this out a couple of weeks or months ago, but I kind of kept delaying it. So for those who don't know, I went on a holiday to America end of May, early June, and I went to Orlando and then I went to New York. We stayed at Disney World and were there for around 7 or so days, and then 2 days at Universal. I obviously, by the title, I'm going to be telling you my favourite rides from each park I went to on the day that I went there, and then I'll give my top 5 of favourite rides of all time at Disney World. I'll also be doing this with Universal, so hopefully that video will be coming out soon. I don't know when this video is going up, but it's like the first week of August, and yeah, I came back home mid-June. So I'll start off with Epcot. We barely did anything at Epcot because if you don't follow me on Instagram or Twitter, my flight was delayed by like 5 or 6 hours, so I missed my connecting flights. I had to fly from Sydney to San Fran to Phoenix, Arizona, then Phoenix, Arizona to Orlando, Florida, and I arrived there like 6 o'clock in the morning, and our first thing to do was at 9 o'clock that morning. So to say I was jet lagged through that day, I can't remember much of the day, sadly. We did our character breakfast, which I really suggest you should do, especially Garden Grill. It's really cool. There's Mickey and Pluto and Chip and Dale, but yeah, it's like really friendly and really good food. I'll do a best to worst just so it'll be easier. So my favourite ride from Epcot was Spaceship Earth, and I didn't know what to expect from it, to be honest, because I'd never heard of, like, I've heard of it, but I didn't research of what it was. And little did I know it'd be like an educational kind of weird video. You're like on a carriage roller coaster kind of thing, but it just like takes you through different places and that. You like have to near the end choose if you want to do like space, like future, or like underwater and that. And it was just so funny because they took our photos and we were like, what the hell, why are we on the screens? It was just very entertaining. So that was the first ride we actually did after breakfast. But next one on my list will be Soarin'. I'd heard so much about Soarin', and from what I heard I was just like, really? That's like a really high fast pass and line-up ride? Like, and then we decided to line up for like maybe like 45 minutes and that, and we kept making obviously High School Musical jokes, being like, Soarin', to entertain ourselves, because it was like an hour wait, and it was raining that day as well, so a lot of people were finding shelter inside. Yeah, it was actually very interesting. It's kind of, I guess, like a simulation. It's, you're on a, guess, like a huge swing kind of platform, and there's many of them, and then there's a huge screen of showing different places of the world and that. And yeah, it was very, very interesting. I was not expecting it, but everyone kept saying it was amazing, and then I was like, fine, I'll go on it. So we went on it. 3 is Mission Space. This is only low on my list because I felt very queasy and lightheaded afterwards. It was like a very fast, like, not a roller coaster, but like a simulation that like shoots you up really fast, and I wasn't expecting it to be that bad. Like, I'm okay with roller coasters and that, but for some reason I felt like really lightheaded and that afterwards, and dizzy. But yeah, it was actually kind of fun. That they had 2 options. They had I guess like a people who didn't want to do a whole fast thing, and like children, and then the one that me and Ash went on, and I kind of wish I went on the children's one. The next one after that is the last ride we did. Frozen Ever After. It's one of the busiest rides. I suggest getting a fast pass if you ever go to Disney World, and it's pretty much just the storyline of like Frozen, so you go into different rooms and you know what's happening if you've obviously seen Frozen. But yeah, it was still like, I was amazed by like the visuals and like the costumes and the robots, whatever the hell they are, and amazing. Yeah, this is only just so far down on my list because I know what Frozen is. Like, I know the storyline and everything. It's very kid friendly, but I also was very jet lagged at this time. It was 3 o'clock around, and I had not slept in like 30 something hours because of my whole flight delayed, and I can't really sleep on flights. So like, I wasn't feeling that good. We were all dead tired. Like, Ash and Corinne arrived the night before, so they got to sleep, I guess, a little, but they were still jet lagged. And I didn't feel that good. I felt like I was going to throw up. I don't know why, but I just needed to go for a walk, and then we finally got to go onto Frozen ever after, and I felt better. So but yeah, we were meant to go back after and go look around all the different like countries in Epcot, and it was the last day of the flower festival, but we were just so jet lagged. There's not that much ride at Epcot, but it's still very beautiful, and you get to go around all these other places. So day 2 was Animal Kingdom, and number 1 ride for that would have to be Avatar Flight of Passage. I suggest definitely get a fast pass for it. We missed out on the fast pass for it because it's that popular, but if you miss out on that, I suggest you do rope drop, which is either around either magic hours or the before the park opens. You go in and you literally line up and they drop a rope, and you don't have to wait as long. We sadly had magic hours that morning for Animal Kingdom, but we arrived when at opening hours, like for magic hours started, so we should have arrived earlier. But yeah, we arrived on time, so we had to wait. When we got to the line, it was an hour and a half wait, and that was for magic hours only. So there was still like another hour or so until the general public could come in. So imagine if we were the general public, it'd be like a 3-hour wait. So if you don't want to wait that long, I suggest doing rope drop. Our line was an hour and a half, but it only took an hour, but still could have gone on so like maybe 1 or 2 other rides during that time if we had a fast pass or whatnot. But yeah, that was my number 1 ride. Amazing visuals. Holy crap, I hate the movie Avatar. I'm very vocal about it. I want my money back for it, but the visuals, you're like on a bike and it's a simulation, but it's just the visuals they have, and you get like sprayed with a little bit of water, and you get these different sense of smells. It's amazing, the visuals, just how they did that. I'm mind blown. Next one would have to be the Kilimanjaro Safari. This one is just literally a safari. You're on in a car with a lot of other people, and you go around and you see different animals, and there was giraffes, elephants, hippos, lions, so many different things. They were just sitting and eating like in their own little time and that, and it was just beautiful. I love giraffes. So when I saw like 4 giraffes, I was like, oh my god, I'm in heaven. Next one would have to be, I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's the another Avatar ride, the Navi River Journey, and this is number 3 on my list because it was kind of a long wait for it. I think we had a fast pass for it, maybe not, but if not, it was like a 45-minute wait. But beautiful, like they had different colours, and you were on a boat, and just all these different flowers and like the rocks, and it looked beautiful. So that's why that's number 3 on my list. Number 4 is the Expedition Everest, and this was a roller coaster kind of involving like Mount Everest and like Yetis. So like you're climbing up Mount Everest, and there's like a Yeti attacking it, so you have to go like another way. It's a roller coaster, but you like go backwards and stuff, and it was really fun. So yeah, I haven't gone on roller coasters much, but in the past few years, but I was at Disney World, so I wanted to go on roller coasters. But yeah, it was really fun. Next one on my list is the Kali River Rapids. This is only so far down on my list because we had to wait so long. It was like meant to be a 45-minute wait, but we like waited way longer than that, and there wasn't much shade and whatnot. And you just kept walking through rooms. You're like, oh yeah, we're almost there, but you weren't. But it was like really fun. It was you get really wet. Like there's those water rides where you're in the circular things and you get a little bit wet, like at the Jurassic Park kind of things. But this, you actually get wet. So I was like worried because they said not to bring your bags, but they didn't have a sign for it, so well, I didn't see it at least. And I had my backpack, and it's like, I guess the fabrics, if you get it wet, the whole bag's wet, and it's going to be annoying for the rest of the day. So I was like worried, like, do I get wet? Do I get my bag wet? So I put my bag in my like poncho so that couldn't get wet, but it was still worth it. Like, I don't care. It was hot. Next one after that would be a ride called Dinosaur. It's very kid friendly. I mean, obviously it's Disney, but you're looking for a dinosaur, and it was very fun. Like you go through all these different, like you're in like a car, and you're like moving, like trying to drive all crazy to get out of the way so you don't get eaten by dinosaurs. And yeah, it's very fun. Last one on my list, it's not bad, it's just it was good, but it's Tough to Be a Bug. It was the A Bug's Life, I guess, movie or like show you would call it. You go in with 3D glasses, as they call bug eyes, and you sit in the cinema and they do like this talent show, but it's like on a screen, so it's like all 3D'd and everything. But yeah, they have like all these cool effects, like with like water spraying at you, and then like at the end they're like, oh, be careful of the other guests, and then you feel like these bugs are like crawling on the ground, like running past you, and it felt so real because there wasn't bugs there, but they like make it look like that there were also bugs watching as well. It's really, really amazing. Day 3 was Hollywood Studios, and we also went to Disney Springs, which is like just shops and restaurants and everything like that. So that's where we went for that, because Hollywood Studios doesn't have a huge amount. I mean, I guess they do now, because a month after we left, they opened the Toy Story World land thing, so they have like 3 extra or 4 extra amazing rides there. I'm so annoyed that I missed out on that, but it was still really fun. Like, I love movies, so I had a lot of movie kind of themes with like Star Wars and Twilight Zone and TV shows and whatnot. Number 1 ride for Hollywood Studios would be Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. I didn't know it was like Twilight Zone themed, but yeah, I'd heard so much about the Tower of Terror and it was amazing. It was a drop ride, but I thought it was like literally you just drop. I didn't know you went up and down and like all that, but it was really, really fun. I'd only suggest it if you like drop rides. My friend Corinne isn't the biggest fan, so she was kind of like shocked about that, but I really liked it, and it's like a cool photo and like a huge hotel and whatnot on a hill. And next one is the Rock and Roller Coaster, starring Aerosmith. It's a roller coaster that's kind of themed for you to get to the Aerosmith concert as soon as possible. So you're like in a fast car, but it's a roller coaster, and yeah, really, really fast and amazing. You go upside down, and yeah, it was so fun, and really, really well done. And you get to hear their music and everything, so that's cool. Next one, Toy Story Mania. This is the first ride we did of the day. It's like a carnival kind of thing, but you're like in moving things where you just try and hit the certain objects and then you get points and whatnot. But it was like so fun, like you like versing whoever you're with in the carriage, and you like try and hit everything, and you like move into different rooms, and it's very fun. Next one would be Star Tours. This would only be this like low on my list because I've done it, I think, at least 2 times before. I've done it both at Disneyland in LA, but it's still very fun. Like you get to go in and you have like R2-D2 and C-3PO like in the waiting room, and it's like a huge like you kind of like sitting like in seats like cinemas, and it's like a simulation where you try to escape and fly, and you're in space obviously because it's Star Wars. And yeah, there was they like to point out one person in the crowd. I forget if it's like if they're a good person or a bad person and that, but they pointed my photo and I was like, hey, it's me, and everyone starts like laughing. I'm like, why me, guys? Like, why'd you choose me? But then again, I remembered I was directly right in the middle in the back row, so it's probably why I got chosen. The last one of the day was Muppet Vision. This isn't bad or anything, it's just it happened to be the last on my list, but it was pretty much like a Bug's Life at Animal Kingdom, but the Muppets, they were doing their like own show, and you got to like see everyone, and it was very 3D, and it all came out like into the cinema. It was very fun. Like Jim Henson, he created the Muppets, he's a freaking genius. But yeah, it was like very, very fun, like, and obviously just like it makes you feel like such a kid. You're like, oh my god, it's Kermit and all that. But yeah, it was very fun. So that was last on my list. We also went to a character lunch. Ash booked it the day before or something. It was just like a buffet, so we could just have lunch, and little did we know it'd be a character lunch. We walk in and we're like, oh, they're like, oh, would you like to take a photo with Daisy? And we're like, huh? oh, Daisy Duck is literally right there. And then we like look around, they're like, yeah, it's a character lunch and it's a buffet, and it had like Mickey, Donald, Goofy, Minnie, and I'm just like, what the hell, I was not prepared. And like Donald was so funny, like he came and sat down when Corinne went to go get food. And then he was just sitting there and he's like, oh, he was like mimicking that he hurt his leg, and he wanted me to put napkins on it, and then Mickey came over and they started having a fight, and Mickey started throwing paper at him. It was crazy, guys. Next 2 days we went to Magic Kingdom. Magic Kingdom have the most rides, and it's the famous Disney castle. Ash and I went there early so we could see the welcome show. They do a welcome show I think every day, but it had been raining that morning, so I'm guessing they decided to cancel it. So they'd usually have like Mickey and Minnie and that come out and welcome you and say, welcome to Disney, and you can go now and go on the rides and whatnot. But they only did like one little firework and said, welcome to Disney, like over the loudspeaker, have a nice day. And we're like, oh, I guess they're not coming out because it's raining. So if we knew that, we would have gone into like other rides. And it'd been raining, so there weren't like as many people. Like, it was still a lot of people at Disney, but not that much. We went on the Haunted Mansion, and yeah, that's all I have to say about that ride. I'll come back to that later, okay? So my number 1 for Magic Kingdom would have to be Space Mountain. I'd heard so much about it, and it lived up to expectations, unlike some other rides. But it was like, I knew it was like a roller coaster kind of thing, but you're like in a roller coaster and you're like in a capsule kind of thing, and you just go, like, you're in a dark room in a roller coaster. You go upside down and stuff, and there's like lights that are like kind of stars, but you don't really get to see what's around you. You don't know what's happening and what's gonna come. So it was like a great thrill. So that was number 1 for me. Number 2 would have to be Big Thunder Mountain, a western kind of like mine themed roller coaster. And I obviously like roller coasters, guys. They're very fun and thrilling. But yeah, it was like very fun, and you go upside down and everything. So I like roller coasters. So next one would have to be Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spinners. We got this like literally the end of the night. For Disney, you get 3 fast passes, and then if you use those up, you can, I think, get another one. So we got this, I think, after the fireworks. It was like maybe like 10 o'clock or something, and it kept like breaking down while we were on it, but it like kept like but you could still play it. So when me and Ash went on our separate things, and it was kind of weird because you need like another person with you, because you have to control of what ways you want to spin and also shoot at the same time. So when you're doing that by yourself, it's kind of hard. But Ash was like behind me, she's like, Jack, keep shooting, it's still working. So you're like trying to shoot, I forget his name, he's in number 2, or wait, number 1, no, number 2 for Toy Story, the evil guy, the space dude person. He's like taking over it, and you need to shoot at him and the Z's, so you have to like get him to go away and whatnot. But if you keep shooting, it still added points. So Ash kept shooting, and she got so many points that she like was like one of the highest like rankings you can get. But it was like so fun. You like we were like in there for maybe 15 minutes, and it's probably not even a 5-minute ride. It's just it kept stopping, but it was just like so funny and enjoyable. So number 4 would have to be Peter Pan's Flight. We got a fast pass for this one, and this one's a very big ride because it's very friendly for adults and kids, and it pretty much just tells the story of Peter Pan. Like you go in different rooms, and there's like Peter and Wendy, and then there's like Captain Hook and stuff. But yeah, it was like, it's very fun. You go like through England, and you're like on a sailing like pirate ship by the looks of it. So I really liked that. Next one will be Monsters Inc. Scare Floor, or maybe it's Laugh Floor. I think it's a laugh floor because you're meant to laugh in it. Yeah. So you like stand in a room, and you're like in a cinema again, and you I don't know if you wear glasses. I don't think you wore glasses, but it was like a screen, and they like, it looked like it was 3D, and they came out and everything, and you have to laugh so Mike can keep his job or something, and you don't get scared obviously, because at the end of the first Monsters Inc. they change it to a laugh factory kind of thing. But yeah, that's like very fun and entertaining. They interact with the audience as well. They like point out people and kind of make fun of them and that, but it was so fun. Next one will be Mad Hatter Teacups. It's an iconic Disney ride. It was raining as well, so me and Ash just went on it just to take care of time because it might be busy later, but it was like very fun, obviously, you know, spinning, and it's a very good ride. It's very friendly for kids, and I mean, unless you get sick easy, but yeah, so that's number 6. Number 7 would be Pirates of the Caribbean, or as some people call it, the Caribbean. This one's this far down my list because I guess I was expecting more. I'd heard so much about it, and like some of the things are just like weird and like creepy, like, oh, that's a part of this, righto. And it's like you're on a boat and you're going through different scenes, but nothing full on scary is like happening. It's just like these different things that are like happening beside you, but nothing comes out or everything. So that's number 7 on my list. Number 8 would be Magic Carpets. This is only this far down my list because it was like the second ride we went on and it was raining still and no one was on the ride, like no one. So me and Ash were like, yeah, let's do it now. So you're literally like on the Dumbo ride, like going up and down, up and down. So it was just because it was raining and I don't like rain and it's outside, but it's still fun. Like if it wasn't raining and there was a lot more people, it probably would be way better. But next one will be It's a Small World. We were just doing this to pass the time. Apparently it gets very busy as well, this ride. But it's just like you're on a boat going through all these different cultures and countries, and the dolls looked creepy. That's why this is probably far down on my list. But yeah, it's just a very simple ride where you're just on a boat going through different things and they sing It's a Small World like they do in The Lion King. I mean, it's obviously for something else, but I know from The Lion King. That was that's my list for my rides, and I have another list. It's called Worst Rides Ever, and that's what the Haunted Mansion is on. We went on that first. It had a 10-minute wait and we got in there like super quick. It was the first ride we went on and we'd heard so much about it, been like, oh my god, it's so amazing. What are these people on? Most boringest ride ever. I've never seen the movie, so maybe that could be a reason, but literally you're in something and you're going through different rooms and this thing, the things are meant to be scary maybe, or it's just weird, and I'm just like, oh, this is the ride. Me and Ash are like, oh, okay, righto. This was boring, like so freaking boring, like worst ride ever. I just don't get why everyone was so hyped about it. I'd heard so much about it. It just, nothing happened. You're like going through different rooms and there's ghosts and some like people, and you're like, okay, cool. Are we meant to know that part of the story? Like, so worst ride ever, guys. Just because I'd heard so much about it, I was like, oh, really? I thought it'd be like thrilling, or you go through the room like moving or something at least, but no, nothing entertaining. That is day 4 for Magic Kingdom, and then Ash and I also went to Tony's restaurant, which is like the Lady and the Tramp kind of themed restaurant. So we had Italian there, and then we saw the fireworks and everything. Day 5 and the last day at Disney World. We stayed in Disney World still, but this is our last day actually in the parks. So we didn't have any fast passes until later in the day, so I went in I think 3 o'clock just so I could see the parade, and it was raining, so it didn't happen till like maybe 4, but it was still very fun. It was, yeah, very cute, and everyone saying waving and singing, and so that was fun. But also I witnessed, because I was waiting for my friends, and I was also like live streaming on like Facebook and Instagram because I was bored, and it was like early in the morning in Australia as well. But I saw a proposal. I was like hanging outside near the castle, and then I hear some lady or girl like, oh, and I like turn around and the guy's like proposing to her, and they're like happy and kissing, and they weren't, their parents and that were there, so they like had the hats and everything. So they have the photographers at Disney like all over the park, and you can like have your annual pass like connected with the app, or you can like have photo cards and whatnot, so you can pay for it. And this photographer that this couple had was amazing. She was like on the ground doing all these different poses. She's like, alright, now pose like this and show the ring, and now we'll do this, and it was just so fun to witness. Number one, my ride would have to be the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. I'd heard so much about it, and good thing we got a fast pass for it because it's a very long way. But it's just a roller coaster, and you're like going through like the mines for the dwarfs, and you go past like the house, and you see Snow White's image and stuff. But it's like very fun. Like they have the song, it's like tick 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 tick, like it's very fun. But yeah, like I go through it fast and everything. It's kind of I guess like not wobbly but rackety, like you move the sides quickly. I probably wouldn't suggest for like young kids because it might be a little bit like hard for them to like if they hit the sides or something, but who knows, you can look that up yourself. But number two would have to be Splash Mountain. I'd heard so much about this, and I knew you like obviously go down and you get splashed, but I did not know there was a storyline with this whole ride. You go on it and it's like these bears, and and then there's this like evil fox and something else, I think maybe a rabbit, I don't know, but they're like there's this storyline, and like the fox is trying to get the bear or the rabbit, and then you think, oh no, did the fox kill them? And then you like go down Splash Mountain, and then you go like through there, and you're like, oh yay, they're alive, woo. But yeah, it was like very fun, and I was like, I did not know it was like a 5-minute ride. You go through all these different other things, and you go up and down, and then you go the full splash. But yeah, very fun. Number 3 on my list is again Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger. We had a fast pass for this, but the night before, me and Ash got one just because there was a free fast pass for it. So but yeah, this was third on my list as well because this time there wasn't any breaking downs. But yeah, very fun, just like shooting anything and everything. And Ash had a high score again because she must be so amazing at those kind of games. But it was very fun. Next one will be the Carousel of Progress. It's not a huge ride where you line up for so long, but my friend Amy Rose suggested it to me that day. And it's just like you're in a cinema and you move around literally in 360, and it's like different decades of what's been happening. It's the same family, and like you get to see what's been happening of like the 60s, and like what's different in what era, and I think it goes to the 90s maybe. But yeah, it's like very fun, and some of it was weird, but yeah, very fun. I'm really glad I got that suggested because it was very interesting. It was maybe like a 20-minute ride, well, not really a ride, but you get what I mean. Apparently Walt Disney really liked it. Like it was like a big thing for Walt Disney as well. Last one I have to do would be Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. We got this fast pass like half an hour before the fireworks, and this is only this long on the list because it's obviously a ride for toddlers. Like there's like rides that you can go on that are like for, you know, kids and that, but this was obviously for toddlers. But it was just like so cute. We got made to get us three like get stuck in a honey pot, but like it's clearly you can only fit like 2 people or maybe like three kids or something. But like we were like full on squished. But it's just like a storytelling of like certain Winnie the Pooh and Winnie the Pooh getting stuck in the honey pot, and you go like find Roo and Rabbit and stuff. But it was good, better than Haunted Mansion, because the Haunted Mansion sucks. So that was all my rides and what those rides I did on the days I was at Disney World. I have a top 5 list of my favourite Disney rides from the whole experience. So my number 1 would be Avatar Flight of Passage. Line up for it like right on rope drop, or get a fast pass for it if you plan on, because it's amazing. Number 2 would be Tower of Terror if you like dropping like in fast kind of like drop rides. Next one will be Space Mountain. I just like the roller coaster. This is all just on my preference obviously, but it depends on if you like roller coasters or like fast rides or being in the dark and whatnot. So number 4 would be the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. That was just fun. It was a fun ride. I wasn't expecting that to be that good, and it was great. And number 5 would be the Navi River Journey. It just looked freaking pretty as, like, you can get some great photos in there. I have some good photos of it as well. And I'd also suggest, I know it's top 5, but I also would suggest if you love animals or doing like safari stuff, the Kilimanjaro Safari Animal Kingdom. You just, I mean, I could have been lucky that day, but we saw a lot of amazing animals. So that was fun. I hope you like this. I'll be doing this for Universal as well. Hopefully that will be coming out soon. But yeah, this is something I got from Disney. It's got the Disney in like a world, and it says EST 1971. It's got Disney like whatchamacallit back. But yeah, so if you have any like suggestions of videos for me to do, comment them below. I hope you have a nice day, and I'll see you next time, guys.